So, welcome back to Superherocuts, Stevie. How you doing?
Good, brother. How you feeling today?
I'm doing well. We got a fire docket for you guys. So, I feel like we should wait like 2 seconds to get people in here before we go through the docket.
That's fine.
We give it like a minute. But yeah, anyway, older comics were like an acquired taste for me, and I always wanted to be able to enjoy them, mainly because I read all the new shit or the relatively recent stuff, and then I run out, and I'm like, there's so much older stuff that like I can't enjoy, and now I love the older comics, and I'm reading so many of them.
Yeah, I need to. Yeah, like I was looking at some of the older stuff, and my whole thing was maybe like the writing was like going to be trash and whack. But then like when I'm skimming through, I'm like, all right. I was like, let me just stop at certain points because I don't. I'm not a big fan. Like now that I'm reading, like I'm not a big fan of skimming through comics anymore because now I want to read the actual context. And like I did that with a lot of stuff like early on, and I felt spoiled. So I've been really so like I kind of stopped at a certain point
You
when
can
I got
always
to Galactus
reread
shit,
stuff that
and then
used
I'm
to
gonna
be.
go back. Yeah, and
Um,
like and bro, and honestly, bro, lately, like I enjoy comics more now when I read it a second time than the first time.
Bro, a lot of comics you got to read a second time and you catch so much more stuff. But anyway, we're going to get into the docket and we got a lot of stuff to talk about with you guys tonight. So, welcome back to Superhero Cuts. The docket tonight, Fantastic Four First Steps, reaction review, end credits breakdown, Iron Man vs. Doom, teased by Robert Downey Jr., Mystique actress Rebecca Romijn from Avengers Doomsday said the script for Avengers Doomsday isn't complete. Marvel Studios is reportedly discussing the idea of having Robert Downey Jr. playing Doctor Doom even after Avengers Secret Wars. Kevin Feige said that Deadpool and Wolverine led him to the idea of bringing back the X-Men for Avengers Doomsday. This is a scoop, so take it with a grain of salt. But in Avengers Doomsday, Monica Rambeau will be torn between supporting the Avengers because of Carol Danvers or the X-Men, who have become her new family after the post-credit scene, teased from the Marvels, which I say is the worst MCU movie of all time. But ultimately, Monica will side with the X-Men and oppose the Avengers. Spider-Man Brand New Day will take place in 2027, according to revelations from the set photos. And X-Men reboot news from Drake Schreier, and Superman has crossed $500 million. So we got a lot to get into tonight. It's pretty exciting. And yeah, I'll pass it over to Stevie.
Yeah, man. Just want to say like what a great opening weekend. I'll tell you guys on our end, Jerry and I were obviously keeping communication throughout everything. Like, if you guys don't know, whenever we see a movie, we always call each other like the night of, and then we talk on the phone, and you're usually driving back, and then like I'm usually just like sitting in my car just talking to
Yeah.
you. And so like that's our thing. Like we always talk on the phone after, and then right, and like I love how you're like brain works because I feel like when you get home, that's when you really sit down and then you really like think about it. And then I'll just get like a bunch of just text photos, and I'm just like, okay, now his brain is unfolding. And so
Yeah.
it was, it's always fun, and this is just and this for us, this is a lead up to Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. So great opening weekend. We hope you guys had a good opening as well. Um, but yeah, man, let's get into the Fantastic Four first steps and let's talk about just our reaction and review. So, bro, I just want to know how you felt, walk like before you came walking out of and just let's talk about the movie. And by the way, obviously it's spoilers, guys, and like it's
Yeah,
Monday.
yeah. This
It's
is spoilers.
listed.
This is spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie at this point and like you do not care as much as everyone else. Like you just don't. Okay.
Yeah.
I was waiting for this movie for so long. Fantastic Four, one of my top favorites. I read every comic they put out all year. Like there were other movies I was excited for, but like literally the second January hit, I was just like, I put the date in my calendar in my phone. Okay. I put it on my calendar. It popped up on my work calendar. Like I was, oh man. So anyway, when I went to see this movie, I was so worried. I was so worried they were gonna mess it up. I was just like, you know, with the MCU post Endgame, pre Endgame, when we went to see an MCU file, we expected it to be great. And now we hope that it's good. Like that's how it's been. And this movie was not good. It was amazing. It is one of the best MCU movies ever. It was so good. The characterizations were awesome. And like they got the vibes right. When you read a Fantastic Four comic, you could feel the love that these characters have for each other and their relationships on every single page. And that vibe was present in every scene. And they really got the characterizations right. And to the extent that they really put Reed's moral complexities on display. And that's like one of the things that I think goes over a lot of people's heads. But like someone like me, who again reads all the FF comics, Reed does have a lot of major moral complexities. There's a lot of things he does that people wouldn't necessarily agree. And then you hear his explanation. You might not agree, but like you could see where he's coming from. And when they had that scene and Sue was like, this isn't your job. This is you. And you being you hurts me. And that guilt, like that was, oh my God. They really, really killed it, man.
Yeah.
And it was a good movie. It was a fun movie. They got the vibes right. Like it felt fun and lighthearted. And then it got all serious and deep, man. And, Galactus, like this is the truth. Okay. It might sound like a hot take, but Galactus isn't really a villain. Like you don't consider yourself a villain because you eat steak. You know what I mean? Galactus he was basically a human and he was from the planet of Ta. And Galactus, through like our version of the Big Bang, he became this cosmic force of Galactus and he has this eternal hunger. And it's called the cosmic hunger in the comics, but whatever, same thing. And he like just has to eat, he's not eating a planet because he wants to put death on everyone. And that's why he wanted Franklin, was because he wants a way out. He's like, it's like the bane of his existence. He doesn't like being who he is and what he is. And they really did the coming of Galactus, like so many. I mean, and that is how I always say the MCU does their adaptations. They don't do it tit for tat. They take things, they kind of change it, and they give us like their version of it. And the coming of Galactus is one of the most iconic comic books of all time. It's only 3 issues. It's Stan Lee. I think it's 48 to 50 or 49 to 51, something like that. Definitely check it out. But yeah, it was unreal, man. They killed it. They did so well that like now when I read Fantastic Four comics, I try to use the voices in my head of the actors rather than the voices I've been using forever. So I love the movie. And like another thing I want to say is that I think a lot of, and maybe this is something that like I have noticed with myself, and I feel like a lot of fans will be able to relate to this, but when going to see an MCU movie in theaters for the first time post Endgame, like we all want it to feel like it felt when we went to see Iron Man for the first time. And I think Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, even Guardians of the Galaxy, like a lot of the vibes, the color grading even, and like it was all very similar, but it was great because we loved it. So we just wanted more of it. And like now we're getting to a point in the MCU where things are good again, but things are very different. It's not the way it was pre-Endgame, like at all. I think that Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, like the color grading was very different. They're very character-driven stories. They're very like focused on the gray area and things not being so black and white. And I think we're in a turning point in the MCU where the MCU has been trying to evolve for a really long time. And it's finally in like a new phase of evolution. And I think that it's going to be very different for a while. And I think like people are really going to probably pick up on the evolution by the time Spider-Man Brand New Day comes out, because that movie is going to be like the first movie of a character that we've seen before the MCU evolved, and everyone's going to really notice it then. And once again, as usual, I'll be ahead of the curve and I'll brag about it because I'm not humble.
Yeah, bro. This movie is phenomenal, and I'm gonna use the word that you sent me when you first saw it. It is incredible. Like that's what I've been saying all weekend. Number one, I understand why and so Pedro said in the interview that they had him stop his like 60s voice, and when the movie first starts, you can clearly hear his little 60s accent, and then but like you can hear that change in his voice to where like the thing about and I really wanted to talk about Pedro because I was the one that did champion him from the start, but I would be lying if I didn't tell you a fear of mine was him not being able to show and play a intellectual character. Because I mean, when you were Reed, you are the smartest guy in the MCU, and one of my doubts what wasn't necessarily the acting, but my fear was more so the dialogue and how he brought that into action. And let me just say this, the writing in this movie is amazing. The writing is like top tier and really freaking good. And honestly, like this is the first MCU file in a while. Thunderbolts was great, but I was really locked in. And like I haven't been this locked in a movie since No Way Home, where like I sat on the edge of my seat. Like after that space battle, I literally was sitting at the edge of my seat for the rest of the movie. and then I mean, I also want to talk about Galactus's look when they go to a ship and his eyes freaking glow. Oh my god, bro. It was so, bro. When they saw the planet get destroyed and Silver Surfer just floats in their ship, and it's just so creepy. It's so weird. It's so weird. You know what I mean? And not to mention the Silver Surfer, surfing through black holes and stuff. Bro, this movie is insane.
Great.
The craziest part was when she almost got it, was when she got in the ship and she reached in her stomach to try to grab Franklin from her stomach, bro. Yeah.
And then they did the slingshot,
bro. They killed it. And also they obviously established Reed as the smartest with the most ambitious move, which is to move the Earth to another universe. Like, what way to make him the smartest guy? Not all. And the other thing that I love too is that whenever Reed said he wanted that he was researching something, bro, it like instantly happened. There was no lag time in him, because prime example, right? In Avengers 1, when Stark and Bruce Banner got the Tesseract, they were like, let's go to the back and figure out, what's going on. But Reed's like, okay, I found all of the planets that Silver Surfer has been to, and that happened in like a 2-second span. I like Matt Shackman really paid attention to detail. But my dark horse, probably my favorite character in this movie, was Johnny Storm. Okay, Johnny Storm, Joseph Quinn, you surprised me. Okay, I did not have a lot of faith in you at all. Even before you went and said that crap in that article, I did not think that Joseph Quinn was going to deliver the way that he did, being able to portray being a hotshot, to portray being an annoying one, to portray being a ladies' man, but also like they made him not just an idiot. The dude was smart. He somehow figured out Shia LaBeouf's whole entire like language, and by the way, that whole scene was just incredible. I mean, there's just so much. I mean, and I also love the positioning of the movie. I know that like you and I were kind of not understanding why Sue was doing the whole Future Foundation thing, and to me, at least for me, it seemed very weird. But the way that they kind of have it is like she is kind of like, it's more of like a global peace type of thing. So I love how she's kind of in charge of she's the one that kind of made the relationship between Terrania and like the upper world, right? Like they kind of like, I love how Sue is kind of the glue to that piece happening, because like why would Reed go and talk to him and like try to make peace? Reed is building the next whatever, you know what I mean? And also all of the leakers, you guys are weird, okay? You guys are looking weird because a lot of these leaks were wrong. And Kevin Feige, he played a lot of y'all. There was a lot of yap going on, and a lot of stuff just did not happen. And honestly, like I am happy that a lot of the leaks that we read and went over, a lot of the stuff did not happen, because I'm not gonna lie, like there was a lot of stuff that I was just surprised about from this movie. But the reality is that the cast that they had, and Eben Moss Backrack as the Thing, it is another dark horse. I mean, that dude is amazing. And by the way, I love how he is like established. Him as a pilot is like the greatest thing ever. I don't know why, but seeing him fly the ship, and as you said, bro, doing the slingshot, I thought that was fun. And I took my wife on Saturday night, and seeing the whole birth thing happen, guys. We're having a baby on Saturday, so it was just it really hit home for us too, and I went with my wife and my sisters, and like that's the thing about Fantastic Four. This movie is for everybody, bro. Like there are things in this movie that reach everyone. But the one thing that has been going viral on the internet is the talk about Franklin Richards. Okay, for some reason, a lot of people don't understand this boy so much, bro, that my sister went on a TikTok. And mind you, bro, my sister, she is a girly girl. She likes to go to wineries with her friends. She she takes trains to like cities to hang out with her friends. She's like the most girly girl ever. She was just sitting there texting me at freaking 1 o'clock on Saturday about Franklin. She was like, "What is the deal with this freaking baby?" You know what I mean? And so let's just make sure that we have a few things clear here, okay? Franklin has never created a multiverse, okay? He has never created a multiverse ever, okay? He can create universes, okay? Okay? He can warp reality, okay? He can resurrect worlds, and he could even shape entire timelines like it is nothing. Franklin is a very powerful character, guys, and he is amazing. And as you and I were talking about the other day, I hope and I really want to see what the MCU is going to do with Franklin in the future, because they do nerf, like the MCU does nerf a lot of their powerful characters and their powerful tools like the gauntlet, etc. So like I wonder what they're going to do with Franklin in the future. And I wanted to ask you, because I know that you were talking about like aging them up. Could you just explain that a little more about like about you wanting Franklin to be aged up and why? Because
yeah. Well, so I think Franklin should be aged up because, and it seems, and we're going to get into the timeline of like, because things are obviously moving around, and that's why I put the Spider-Man taking place in 2027 on the docket. Yeah. But for Franklin, I just think like Franklin needs to be a functional human, not necessarily an adult, because they would have to skip too much time and it would detriment the rest of the story. But like, at least make him like 6, 7, I would say 7 years old. And, I just want him to be old enough where he can make his own decisions behind his parents' back, things like that. But I have a question for you, because why you should have said you didn't think that Joseph Quinn was a good casting. And you told me on the mustache, you said you loved the mustache because it made him look like an intellectual.
Okay, I never said I didn't like the stash. Okay,
but you said you liked the stash because.
I'm sorry. Yeah. No. I don't. I think Reed looked smart, but my fear with him was more of dialogue, because I was just watching all of his old stuff, and like Pedro's never played an intellectual, and like to me personally, I don't think a lot of actors could pull it off. Like, who could I use? Like Chris Evans. I don't think Chris Evans could play an intellectual well. I just don't think that's in his wheelhouse whatsoever. And with Pedro, I've just never seen that. So I said
that about the voice and you didn't say anything.
But I thought you were more talking about like the way that his voice is. I'm talking about more dialogue and like just like I was thinking more of like dialogue and how he could like express it, because for me, like when I think of Tony Stark, it isn't necessarily like how he says it, but the way his body can portray his nerdiness, if that makes sense. And like with Pedro, when I see him writing on the board, and like when you can see him think, and the way that he's coming up with like things so fast, it's those small mannerisms with Pedro's dialogue that really sold me. Because if they had weak dialogue, I don't think Pedro would have been a good Reed.
If they
Like,
didn't what?
like if they had weak dialogue, I don't think Pedro's Reed would have sold well. You know,
Yeah,
and
well, it had to be written well. But my concern was that I didn't think his voice was going to sound good and sound like Reed Richards. And it sounded like you were saying that too. But when we talked about it, you never said that.
well, no, because my assumption was that he was going to find a way to make his voice work. But my thing is more of like mannerisms and dialogue and like the way that you portray that dialogue, not necessarily voice. Because I mean, like he's an actor, like anyone can change their voice, but like when you are on these like intellectual riffs, like in a movie, it's those little mannerisms and little additive words that you add that make you sound smart. That like it makes it look like you're not reading off of a freaking paper. You know what I mean? And that's how it felt like. It felt like Reed was not reading off of like it felt like he didn't have a paper and that it was flowing from his brain. It was actually
Well,
insane.
when we debated if Reed was a good casting, I wish you said this.
Well, here is the thing.
Because what it seems like is I thought I had concerns about Reed, and you were like, "Oh, I think Reed is going to be great." And now that the movie comes out and it's good, you're like, "Yeah, I had concerns, but he was
hold
great."
on, all right. So to defend my honor,
I'm going to call it spade a
this
spade,
is my
bro.
sword and this is my honor. Okay, and I'm pretty sure I said this on, I think it was on TikTok too. But like this fear for me didn't come until I think it was the second or third trailer. So this is like a few months back. It wasn't like I had this fear off of the rip, but like from some of the stuff I saw, like in the actual trailer, I was like, it just didn't fit well. But then the scene that I feared, it wasn't even in the movie. So it was like, okay, you know what I mean? Like because some of the stuff that was in trailers didn't even make the final cut, and most of the scenes that didn't make the final cut were a lot of the scenes that I was like little like saying
Yeah.
I'm not really feeling this a little bit. You know what I mean? So yeah,
We spoke about the trailers.
100%, 100%. 100%. So yeah, but yeah, so
yeah. Anyway, shout out to Dano Cosmic, one of my favorite people I follow. If you're into Cosmic Marvel, like he is one of the best follows. So I'm glad to see you in here, bro.
let's get it. I love Cosmic, bro. Wait, he's the guy behind Cosmic Marvel?
No, they've actually beefed though, and
Okay,
Dano
okay,
was
okay.
right. That was
I was
that
about to
was
say,
that was funny. But
let's get it. Let's
Dano
get it.
Cosmic's a way better follow than Cosmic.
Yeah.
Cosmic Marvel just regurgitates news. Like Dano Cosmic posts his
Yeah.
thoughts. He posts different cuts, kind of like I do from
Yeah.
Cosmic
I think I
Marvel.
follow him on Instagram.
Probably,
Yeah.
I think I've sent his stuff to you
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
That he's a great follow.
Yeah, because I think he did something about the Silver Surfer that you sent a while ago. That was
Probably.
fire. But yeah, so and what's been happening to me lately is that I've been having these like I'm not gonna say panic attacks because I'm not soft, okay? I am not a soft man, but like I've been having these little minor I gotta put it out there, Stevie doesn't have like anxiety on Thursday. I'm not that kind of guy. But just gotta put that out there. But I was having these like minor
Man,
like
I'm having anxiety. Where's Sophie
Yeah.
Rain?
yeah, bro, yeah, exactly. My wife would smack me if I had that. Like a boop, you know what I mean? Wake up, go to work.
Yeah.
But like and Thunderbolts, I had it too. Where like I had these little doubts in my head, and then when I saw the movie, they all just went away. I mean, bro. By the way, and you've seen this twice, right?
Yeah, and I'm going again Saturday with my dad. My dad now wants to see it.
I think he's gonna like it, bro.
I think so too. Yeah. I think that he originally wanted to see Superman, and I was like, we should see Fantastic Four too. He was like, I'll see that one, and then I was like, do you want to do both in one day? He's like, I don't know if I could do that. I was like, well, we should go to Fantastic Four first because it's still in Dolby. He's like, okay,
Sure.
And I think he's gonna like Fantastic Four more than Superman because. Like, first of all, Superman has a lot of characters in it, and I think that might be a lot for him. Like, I think if he likes Fantastic Four, there's a better chance he would like Superman more after that. And Fantastic Four is, like, they're not really, like, your typical superheroes. They're more, as they call themselves, the Imaginauts, and they're like, it's more sci-fi. Like, it's just different.
Yeah, and also you usually in superhero files, right? Like when they get to showing the lifestyle of the superhero, that's when I usually get bored. Like it, like in
Really?
like yes, because like
Because that,
sometimes
you know,
because like and this and that and like so a movie where I loved it was like Black Panther one. Like I am into the world of freaking Wakanda,
Wakanda.
but like what it like, but like in the old school prime example, right? So like let's say we're talking about the Amazing Spider-Man 1, right? Like I got so bored watching the same thing happen over and over. You know what I mean? And it's like and sometimes, bro, like with whenever they're trying to like bring back a new character, they got to go through everything all over again. And I loved how in the beginning of the movie we went through the origin and that's it. And it took like 2 minutes to like go through everything because usually when a superhero movie or whatever introduces new people, the origin is a part of the lifestyle. But like me personally, and this is why I like a lot of sequels more because when you're in the sequel, the superhero is already comfortable in their world already. You know what I mean? Like people already know who they are. There's already some identity there, and so I was really bought into like into them just hanging out. You know what I mean? Like I was bought into the movies starting with Sue taking taking a test and like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm pregnant, and then seeing like Johnny just go in and out, and then Herbie is doing all like all of the baby gates, and Ben is like breaking everything. Like that stuff really spoke to me, and I really think it was because they didn't tie the daily lifestyle to the origin. You know what I mean?
I think there's a lot of nuance here because for characters that like most moviegoers don't know, they have to do an origin.
Mhm.
But Fantastic Four, what they did was really smart. They had the talk show kind of go through like a documentary reel who they were for a couple minutes, bing, boom, you're done. And then it just like went right into the movie and it was more fun really quick. However, I think that like for the genre to take off the way it did, I think origin stories were very important because number one, a lot of people don't know the characters, even if it's like, for example, Iron Man, like they had to do the origin story for Iron Man and it worked and it was a great movie and everyone loved it. Also, like that was Stan Lee, like in a nutshell. Stan Lee, he's famously said, like when he was growing up and reading comics, the one thing that he didn't like was that he didn't get to see what the superhero's life was like outside of being a superhero. And that's why he made characters like Spider-Man, where you get to see, like he's like Stan Lee said, the way he said it was, I wanted to see their life in 3D. I wanted to see what they were like when they were just eating lunch or what their problems were like because everyone has problems and everyone could relate to that. And that's what led him to make Spider-Man, to make the Fantastic Four as a family and all these things. So, I think like on a rewatch, it's kind of annoying sometimes if you've seen the origin already. But like the first time you're seeing something, I do think the origin is important.
Yeah, but and for certain characters that we have never seen, I totally understand that. But with a character group like the Fantastic Four, and with certain choice characters, like I love how in Black Panther 1, they didn't run into the origin, and have to show T'Challa becoming like, we just went right into where he's the guy, and and his and when we saw him, he was ready to become king. He just had to fight like M'Baku, and that's it. And I'm more talking about like my biased fan take. Like that's what I like more, and that's why Fantastic Four to me really like it really hit for me a lot. And one thing that I also liked was and I think that it helped in Galactus's favor. I'm glad like so and I'm not saying that this was bad in Superman. I think in Superman it had to happen. But don't you know how like in the Superman movie there were scenes where like Lex was just on his own, you know what I mean? And we would see him like just handling stuff with the engineer and whoever. I like how with Galactus they didn't do that, and like we got some of Galactus, but we didn't get much of him. And to me, it gave it more. I'm going to steal this word. It gave him more gravitas. I sound smart. And it also gave it a lot more weight to how powerful, and it made Galactus just seem like a scary, like cosmic being. So I'm glad that they didn't give a lot of screen time of like Galactus telling like Silver Surfer his plan or whatever. Like I think we got the one scene where like he almost crashed out on her, where he was holding her like that. But I like how they were very calculated with his screen time, because to me it made him way more scary and like menacing.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because that, and I think I've said this on here before, but like that was a big part of the decision for why am I blanking on Steven Spielberg, when he was making Jaws, the shark looked goofy, and originally it was supposed to be, I think, a comedy, and he was like, this is stupid. That shark looks ridiculous. He's like, we're not going to show the shark until the end for like a second. And obviously, if you've seen Jaws, you understand why that decision was so iconic for him. And Jaws is one of the most famous horrors of all time. And that made a lot of things like, a lot of like brutal deaths, like even Quentin Tarantino, like when he did the, famous scene with Mike Madsen in Reservoir Dogs, and there was that song, and he made the vicious, like, torture kind of like feel light because of the music. But at the very end, if you notice, when he finally did give him the kill shot, they don't actually show it, because it makes it a lot deeper sometimes when you don't show something. So, Galactus, I think that like made him feel much more menacing, but he's still not a villain. And that's what's really interesting about him. And I also love that Johnny was the one to put the music together and like translate, because in Coming of Galactus, it was Johnny Storm who went and got the ultimate nullifier. The Watcher told him where the ultimate nullifier was, and Johnny Storm got the ultimate nullifier. But at the same time, the Silver Surfer helped. And the Silver Surfer, because Alicia Masters, and this is what I was telling you, Alicia Masters, who was Ben Grimm's girlfriend at the time, they're married now. They got married in Dan Slott's run, which that wedding issue was incredible.
Really?
Yeah. But even the people that say they don't like Dan Slott's run, they all say they like the wedding issue. What you can't really count what they all say, because they all say the same thing, because they're afraid to have a different opinion because they're stupid. But but yeah, anyway, Alicia Masters was the one that convinced the Silver Surfer, like, hey, we're a people here, we have lives, like I do sculptures, like we're like a people, and you're really going to hurt us if you help Galactus. Like, you could really help us. And it ended up like, and then he stayed there. And the thing that's so interesting about the Silver Surfer in the comics is that he's like a loner. Like, he really is such an incredible character. But I really loved Shalabal. And like, I got to say, like, she won me over. She was amazing. Mm-hmm. And the music, dude, that might be Michael Giacchino's best work yet, especially that Galactus Silver Surfer suite. That song is just, I've been listening to that, and I don't even listen to music, because I only listen to podcasts, because I think if I'm going to spend time listening to audio, I may as well be getting smarter and more knowledgeable. But I'm just a freak like that. Most people, they want to enjoy themselves. I just want to get better at life.
Yeah, 100%, bro. And like, I also want to give props to Vanessa as well. Vanessa Kirby did a great job as Sue Storm, and they did something with her that I thought was very different from a lot of the other female actors that they have had in their files. And not to say that all of them were bad. I'm not saying that, but she perfectly fit the team well. My favorite scene with her was after their what's called a failed. I think something that they did failed. I forget. It was when Silver Surfer basically came through, and she destroyed all of their multiverse transporter things. And Reed basically told them, like, we have to use our son as bait. And as angry as Sue was, she knew Reed was right, and she admitted it, and didn't like go and try to cause a whole entire riff about it. She knew he was right, and she was like, and she basically was like, let me just get my anger out, but I know you're right. And that is such a beautiful representation of their marriage, because that's really how it is. I mean, that's how it is in the comics. Reed is the shot caller. So that scene for me, and seeing how Johnny and them were like, that's a bad idea, that's a terrible idea, I'm not doing it. And then and then after Reed and Sue talk, Sue pops up in the room and she's like, yep, come on, we have an idea.
I also loved Franklin, Uncle Johnny loves you. Like, even though Shalabal ended up, saving the day, like that reminded me of his iconic flame on in the negative zone to the annihilation wave. Oh man, dude, Johnny's always like the first one to sacrifice himself. He's got balls and he's a baller. Pause.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because y'all gonna try to get us out of here. We ain't doing that. All right. Let's let's some chats, and then let's talk some Dr. Doom. Okay. What's up? What's up, Enzo? How you doing, man? What's up, Hungry? Fantastic Four being a good movie is in the right step in the right direction. Amen to that, brother. Amen. With Silver Surfer.
That was corny. I shouldn't say.
Like, it sounded cool in my head, dude. I do that all the time. I do that.
Yeah.
With Silver Surfer and Golden Age comics, you have to be in a certain mindset. Don't hold them to the standard of modern writing. I love the Golden Age, specifically IDK. I just dig that era. We botched not seeing F4 in IMAX. Fun fact, me and my dad saw it in IMAX, though.
Well, the thing about Golden Age, though, is that the Fantastic Four weren't even around in the Golden Age. So it's actually Silver Age. The Fantastic Four came out in 1961. So that's after the Golden Age.
Silver Age, bet. Guys, do you want comic cuts to like break that down, like what that means? If you do, please leave a comment. Because I feel like a lot of people are confused on that. All right, I thought it was good. Nothing crazy. The bar is set high for me when it comes to Marvel. Yeah, but Brennan, I saw it with you, and you're a Superman biased glazer, so bye. I went in with such minimal expectations. It was better than I thought it was going to be. Bro, great. It's amazing. I don't think the Thing was involved enough. I have heard some of that too. I think that the Thing was perfect. I think the Thing was perfect in this movie. I only have two complaints: Pedro mustache, and I wish they went with Norrin Rad Surfer.
Yeah, listen, I still wish they went with Norrin Rad. I think that a lot of people, especially after Shalabal was great, are going to say, oh, they made the right move. But the truth is, we don't know what it would have been like if we had Norrin Rad. And they could easily have done the same exact thing with Norrin Rad. That's number one. Number two, my biggest complaint about the movie is that it was too short. It was too short. It could have been 2 hours and 20, easily. 2 hours and 30 minutes, and maybe 2 hours and 20. 2 hours and 30 might have been a little much, but like the Thing, he needed more screen time. He's such a big character, and I think that him being more of an emotional anchor for the movie would have helped it. I think the issue isn't that. I think it's a Marvel strategy thing that's going on. And I've been meaning to talk about this. But if you've noticed lately, most Marvel movies and comic book movies in general are trying to keep it around the 2 hour mark. This is a new thing because, if you look at the pre-Endgame, it was really 2 hours and 15 to 2 hours and 30. I think that Kevin Feige is scared to put out a longer movie because I think it's easier to win more people over at 2 hours. Mm-hmm. And I think that they are just scarred by so many flops that they're just playing it safe with the shorter run times.
Yeah. And I also will say, like, from a practical standpoint, it's easier definitely for me to rewatch. Like, Mission Impossible was so hard to go back because it's like 3 hours, bro. Like that bro, that takes a big chunk of time. And look, I love that movie to death, but like it is a lot. It is a lot. Like from a from a practical standpoint. But this movie should have been 230. There's no way it shouldn't have been, bro. Like
If
Thunderbolts, I get it. Brave New World, I get it. But this, they should have gone a little extra on the time. I
I
100% agree.
if I love a movie, I always wish it was longer. Like I'd always want more. I mean, if you're going over 3 hours, like that's ridiculous. But
Yeah.
3 hours, I'm cool with.
Yep. Brandon Sklenar as Richard Ryder Nova. No, I'm good. Yo,
Yeah.
the Brandon Sklenar glaze is so crazy.
By the way, I heard, and I kind of believe this, I think that a lot of actors take advantage of this, and so many people are so stupid that they fall for it. But supposedly Brandon Sklenar's PR team and publicist like planted the Brandon Sklenar fan casting as Batman to increase his popularity, and it worked.
Yeah, and then his trainer put out this thing that he's training for his large.
I know.
And his trainer is liking the comments of Batman. It's all calculated, bro.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts on Skywalker Jedi stalking James Gunn? Skywalker the Jedi, bro. That is weird.
It's the first time I ever heard of him, and it's funny because whatever, I'm just gonna say it. I'm not gonna name him, but Stevie's gonna know exactly who I'm talking about. I saw someone who has the worst teeth comment on that guy's, and I was like, bro, like, come on. And also, like, that kind of personal attack is just not called for. Like, you want to call someone out for, you know, being a shill for the Snyder cult, like, that's one thing. Like, talking about like another man's teeth on the internet is like ridiculous.
Yeah. And look, yeah.
Well, and if people do that, like, what I really hate about it is it's usually always the people who are like, oh, Superman's about kindness, and then they're the biggest bullies ever. It's like, and they always have an excuse. Oh, well, he deserves it. Like, doesn't matter. You're a bully because you like being a bully. Okay, I don't care what your justification is. You're a bully, and you're always a bully because you like being a bully. And I'm so sick of the people who say, we need Superman right now because we need kindness, being the biggest bullies on the internet. It's like, you people are insane and you belong in straight jackets.
Yeah, bro. And it's like, and you guys have to remember with some of these guys, right? Like Jerry and I, man, like we were raised like normal kids. You know, we had a great life. We had friends. We got up. We were outside all the time. You know, like we weren't tablet babies who just sat in the house 24/7 and did nothing. You know, and as you guys grow older, and some of you guys are probably older than me. I'm only 26. You guys know when someone was a tablet baby who just sat in the house all day versus someone who actually goes outside and engages in society. And that's all I'm gonna say, because it's people are weird. Those people are weird. Incredible movie. Life as a lifelong Fantastic Four fan, this was it for me. Yes, bro. Yes. Franklin makes Secret Wars an easy plot cop out. I feel like he could easily just end the whole movie at the end.
I don't think that's going to happen because Marvel is not going to waste their big moment on a kid character, actor. They're going to want that to go to someone like Spider-Man or maybe Iron Man if he's back. Like, bro, they put the whole Endgame moment on Iron Man. They're all about big moments, and they're very strategic with who gets the big moment.
1,000%. Hunter Iggy, I heard that LMBO, he went from the front row at Comic-Con and wanted to confront Gunn because he wanted the Snyderverse restored. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and by the way, I am not defending him. I think it's horrible that he did that. What I am saying is that he doesn't, like, I don't care what he did.
Yeah.
He does not deserve to be called out for his teeth. Like, that's crazy, especially from people who have bad teeth and are like the biggest bullies, yet preach kindness. And by the way, I'm not naming the name because I'm not directly going to bully someone.
Yep. Matt Shackman needs to direct the Fantastic Four 2 movie. Yes, they need to lock him in the Marvel.
Yeah, he's got to do the trilogy, like 100%, 100%.
And when he's done, put him on something else. Respectfully, he should never leave Marvel Studios ever again.
Give him Fantastic Four, 4, 5.
Yeah, bro.
6,
Yeah, bro.
All of it.
Put Spider-Man on the team. Go all in, bro. Go
Yeah.
all in. Thoughts on that scene with Johnny figuring out her language within a week? I thought that was phenomenal. That was one of my favorite scenes in the whole entire movie. I thought that was super awesome. By the way, his flame on and the way he looks was super awesome.
Yeah, I don't like. I wish he said flame on though.
Yeah. But when Ben said his clobbering time, I was dying laughing. I thought that was
great.
What if Galactus was transported to Earth 1999? Wouldn't be shocked if that happens, bro.
I don't think we're gonna see Galactus again. I really don't.
I think so.
But it maybe, but if so, I don't think we're seeing him for a long time.
I think he'll pop up somewhere. Johnny was listening to transmissions for longer than a week. Reed was cutting him vinyl on the regular, it seems. Super cool addition to Johnny's character. Franklin Richards comes back to the past to teach young Franklin how to create and use his abilities at its peak.
That's the Hickman run.
Yeah, that would be crazy if that happened. I have a feeling, excuse me, Franklin is going to be used to explain how the MCU resets. He's going to be used to explain why we have a new Tony, Steve, T'Challa, Hulk, etc. I hope we get Valeria too. See, a lot of
by the way, so Franklin did play a role in recreating the multiverse. He didn't recreate the multiverse like exactly how it was, because the multiverse, you have to understand, was destroyed due to the incursions. And Doctor Doom used the beyond their level power to create Battleworld. But Franklin is still super powerful, and he like touched on universes that already existed and brought them back, something like that. I forget the exact detail. I'm going to try to look it up, but it was something like that. So it's not so black and white that he didn't create the multiverse. They did use him to restore the multiverse in the comics.
Yeah. I hope we get Valeria, bro. So a lot of people are thinking that she is pregnant with her at the in the end. I'm not saying I believe that. I don't think she's going to pop up, but a lot of people do think that like she's going to be in Doomsday. But
I hope she is. Actually, I don't know, because I really want to see Valeria and Doom, but I think it's just a lot. Like, to bring in Valeria when you want to have the focus on Franklin, and there's so many characters, and there's a lot of redundant characters that shouldn't even be there. We're going to get into that, but like, it's a lot. And the other thing you have to understand also is, anyone's like, oh, well, they are this many years apart. That's all BS, because that has varied depending on the run. So there's been different age gaps between Franklin and Valeria, and that's pretty consistent in Marvel lore.
Yeah, I mean, and like they could just be like, yo, like in this 4-year gap, she had Valeria. She just upstairs. I mean, they can make up anything. So who knows what's going to freaking happen? But I don't want Valeria. It's just there's too many characters to have at this point. It's too much. Yeah, I didn't think Joseph Quinn was a good casting till I saw the movie, and the Pedro mustache still annoys me. That needs to be shaved off. Let me tell you, bro, that joint's not getting shaved off, homie.
I knew Joseph Quinn was a good casting. He was actually, I was probably the most confident in him. Do you watch Stranger Things?
No.
Bro, there's so many good things you like skip over. You don't play God of War. You don't watch Stranger Things. Like, I'm weird. You're slacking. Anyway, bro, I promise you will lose your mind. Stranger Things is good. Yeah, it is incredible. But he was in the last season, and he was amazing. Like, dude, everyone lost their mind over his character. He was so good.
Dude, he is perfect as Johnny Storm. He is like perfect, bro.
Yeah, I think he is going to be like one of the biggest actors in the game in like 10 years. I really do.
100%. Should Nova get his own movie? Yes. Have you seen Comic Wonder? Are you talking about the YouTuber Cosmic Wonder?
Yeah, I don't know what Comic Wonder is.
Yeah, because Cosmic Wonder is a YouTuber, but I'm not sure if that's who you're talking about. I can't watch Cosmic Wonder. He feels like a show to me. So Cosmic Wonder, honestly, he just recycles a lot of theories. I mean, and look, I don't think it's bad. Like, I think it's good for information for me, because I learn best by voice. But but I'm not going to him to get like ground world breaking takes. You know what I mean? Like I have my best friend that I could just text to get a brown break intake or
Yeah.
slab or whoever. You know what I'm saying? But
By the way, I
I
am so sick of, like, for a while I didn't think they existed, but after the past week, I have realized that there is a growing, like, James Gunn shill cult.
Yeah,
It's like they are really annoying, like really annoying. Everything James Gunn does, they're like, "Oh, James Gunn cooked," or "James Gunn this." James Gunn. It's like, bro, this is this is crazy. Like, you guys are insane.
yeah.
You need a straitjacket for your own good.
Yeah. And it's gone so bad to the point that someone used a Saturday drop off from Fantastic Four to say that Superman is a more rewatchable movie off of one statistic from not even a verified source. It's like the glaze is crazy, bro. And look, and we support Superman, but man, like we're not gonna sit here and just glaze.
I support Superman. I like James Gunn.
Yeah.
I don't like people who are dishonest. And I actually wrote a tweet about it today. I didn't directly say it was about James Gunn. I probably should have. You know what? I'm going to say something because I always, you know me, I'm always going to say it. But what I said was, I can't find it, but whatever. What I basically said was, you know, there are so many people who are so biased. And what I really pisses me off is when they lie because they want you to believe what they believe. But if it requires lying, like, you already understand what you believe is bullshit.
Yeah, 100%. To be fair, the way Amazing Spider-Man was written, they kind of needed to do the origin again. I disagree. I mean, in like for me, and that's why Spider-Man, is it Homecoming? Sorry, there's like a lot of homes that we have to deal with. But Spider-Man Homecoming, that's one of my favorite Spider-Man files of all time because there's no petty origin. You know what I mean? You go right into the story. But I understand. I understand why people would say that. But that's why I don't
think
rewatch
at the time. Also, origins were like the thing, so they did it, and Sony wasn't innovating at the time.
Yeah,
but you know,
yeah, I love this new era.
I've had it with the shills. It's like so.
Yeah, and by the way, guys, like Jerry doesn't just he hates the word shill. So if he uses it, it's getting bad. Doesn't Galactus eventually get bigger than Earth?
I don't know. I've never heard that.
Yeah. We will. What? I don't know what that says. I didn't see Fantastic Four yet.
You're having a lot of typos, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, I like you and everything, but like, clean it up on the typos.
Yeah, right. You need to watch it, bro. I'm actually going tomorrow, so if you want to come, just hit me up and we can go tomorrow. Yes, go. I'm gonna watch it. All right. Honestly, a lot of scenes with Shia LaBeouf could have easily been replaced with Norman Rad. Now all the people defending Shia LaBeouf before the movie was out looks dumb. I disagree. I don't agree.
I agree. I think people are gonna. I think a lot of people defended, as I know from my TikTok, but a lot of people defended Shia LaBeouf because they understood it was a political decision, and that's why they defended it. And that's the thing. Like, you know, they easily could have done Norman Rad. Like,
yeah, I just personally think the emotional stuff wouldn't have hit well for me. If they, I mean, and look, and you sent me the alternative way, which I thought was cool. But if they just copy and pasted that would have been whack to me.
I think so. A loving father is like totally could have worked, and they could have used a sibling or whatever. Also, like, everyone wanted to see Norman Rad because he's the iconic character. And guess what? You know what they wouldn't have had a controversy with? If they did Norman Rad, no one would have been like, oh, well, why wouldn't you do the female character? Because no one would have thought about the female character.
100%. And I agree. I just don't. But to me, like, if you were to put Norman Rad in it, I would want a better, like, I would want it to be a whole different situation. I wouldn't have liked the way that I'm about to sound super sexist, and I'm not. But like, that worked with me because to me, it touched like the female emotional side. And with Norman Rad, I
don't think that's sexist at all.
Right. Yeah,
there are differences to gender, and like pretending that there isn't is
exactly
just, like, ignorance.
Like there,
But
there was like a female emotion side that I saw in her when she got pressed with all those sound bites versus with Norman Rad. I think I would have like if it was Norman Rad, I would have liked a more savage approach at showing him that he's supporting a terrible cause. That's all I'm saying. If it was Norman.
the thing that's so interesting about like Galactus is that you have to keep in mind for Galactus is that he has been alive for billions of years. So he doesn't think in terms of morality because he's so far removed from thinking that way.
Yeah.
And, you know, heralds of Galactus become like different people as heralds. Like, for example, Johnny had a girlfriend, Frankie Ray, who became Nova at not, from the Nova Corps, but just her name was Nova. And she became the herald of Galactus. And when she became the herald of Galactus, like Sue kept having to remind Johnny, like, she's not the same person, bro. And that's what you saw with Shalabal. But you could have also seen that with Norrin Rad. And they could have pressed Norrin Rad the same way and made it emotional if they had to change it from a motherly thing. Like, they totally could have done Norrin Rad.
100%. Okay. Now, guys, we're going to speed through the rest of these because we don't have all night. All right. So, only problem with Silver Surfer, which yours over. They're saving the male Surfer for an upcoming massive MCU reset, and that's why I think Galactus is in the MCU because Shaba is going to go poof, and I think Norrin Rad is going to be the guy.
I see. Like, I don't know, because if we don't have big cosmic events coming up, so I think it's a big speculation to assume that we're going to have a Silver Surfer anytime soon.
I'm going to assume it. More than 2 hours should be for the
I'll
big
take the W like I always do.
I don't, hey, bro. When Norrin Rad comes up popping out, man, don't worry, bro.
Listen, I'll be happy to take the L on this one, but
hey, man, hey, add that.
I'm pretty good on predicting things.
We should make guys. We're gonna make a shared notes list and really write these down.
Oh, you're gonna regret that.
Yeah, no, we're gonna do it, bro. More than 2 hours should be for big movies like Avengers. Fantastic Four should have been way longer, bro. I don't care what no one says. We need more. Which actor do you think would be perfect for Richard Rider Nova? Practically anyone, bro. That is a good actor, and that's a male. I really care less about who's playing freaking Nova. That's the least of my.
A bit of a dick.
Yeah, bro.
Nova's a bit of a dick, and you need that.
Yeah, bro. If Fantastic Four first steps breaks even 5 to 600, Marvel Studios isn't going to be happy no matter how public they try to spin it. But it doesn't matter because Doomsday is still happening, bro. like people can say what they want. They just gotta land Doomsday at this point. And and also like the public image and the public what the critics say matters too. But you are right, money is money, bro. And if they're not making the money, it's not gonna be good. Honestly, I really don't get why Nova, the bootleg Green Lantern, is being hyped up so much. Bro, the glaze is insane. X-Men reboot gonna play that. We'll talk about that later. We will see Galactus again in the future. Facts. Rudy Panko as Richard Rider Nova. I've heard of that name before. Rudy Panko.
Oh, I actually really like that kid.
Let me just see what it looks like because I swear I've heard that name before. Panko. Oh yeah, he was in the Outer Banks. The Outer Banks. Yeah. Marvel Studios delaying Blade is a good thing. Yeah, apparently they're filming next year. That's crazy. And apparently the guy that wrote and I think Josh from the Den said this. I'm pretty sure he said the Fantastic Four writer is writing on Blade. I'm pretty sure he said that. That would be cool if that happens. Yeah, I think Eric is the guy that wrote on Fantastic Four first steps. And if so, hey, that'll be amazing because the dialogue in F4 was awesome. All right. Now, let's get to the second thing here, and we're going to talk about the Fantastic Four first steps end credits. So obviously we all know the end credits. It's on the screen right here, right? Franklin is touching someone's face and it's Dr. Doom. It's RDJ, and we also see the mask. As I always say, you are the Dr. Doom master. What are your thoughts on Doom? What were your thoughts on this end credit scene? Like, I would love to hear your thoughts, dog.
You know, like I don't know if it's first of all, I don't like that this end credit scene was spoiled to the extent I'm so over things being spoiled. Like it's annoying. I used to be like, whatever, tell me the spoilers because like everything was spoiled. But I'm at the point where like I'm actually sick of it. And I don't like that it was spoiled. I wish they showed his face and I wish they did a longer scene because this what are they going to do in Spider-Man Brand New Day to establish Doctor Doom before Avengers Doomsday? So you're telling me his first legitimate appearance is in Avengers Doomsday? It feels like they are rushing him, and I do not like that at all. And you know that they are doing it because they feel pressured and they don't want to rush their villains because it was supposed to be Kang, and they put Kang in Ant-Man. They did 2 seasons of Loki around him and this and that, and they were going to do so much more. So, like, now all of a sudden they switch to Doom, and they're like, we're not going to really establish him until Avengers Doomsday. It's ridiculous.
Few things, man. One W that you need to rejoice in right now is this is obviously 828 Doctor Doom. This is not from, and the fact that Doom is from 828 that destroys the whole Tony Stark variant theory crap.
So, I'm going to take the W, the fact that I said Doctor Doom was going to be in the post credit of this movie 2 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
So I said that. I said that Doctor Doom is going to come from the same universe as our main Fantastic Four because Doctor Doom and Reed Richards have a very complex history to their relationship. And they're not going to just throw that out the window. Like, why would they? So all this made sense. I just wish we got a longer post-credit scene because I think they need to establish Doctor Doom and introduce us to Doctor Doom before Avengers Doomsday. And I don't see Doctor Doom being in Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Yeah, they definitely tried to Thanos this for sure. Where, like, you know, he gets his little one scene where we
Thanos
don't really
had more than this.
Yeah, but I mean, they're all like end scenes with like one word. I mean, he didn't really speak much. So
yeah,
and so,
but
like,
he was at least he was in Avengers barely, but he was at least in it. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy. We saw him. Like Thanos had more than this.
Yeah. So I was very skeptical at first, and then after seeing it the last few times, it doesn't really bother me. And and more so because it gives us a lot of room to speculate. You know what I mean? But also, it doesn't bother me as much. But I am a hardcore fan, so obviously it's not going to bother me as much as it might bother, other people. But it doesn't really bother.
Fan, but I'm not just going to support something just because it's what Marvel's doing.
Yeah, but it just doesn't bother me personally. Like it really just doesn't bother me. But I also want to say this. The mask was. I can't wait to see the mask on the face. I thought it was cool. You know, Franklin's touching his face, very creepy. Wasn't bad, and I wonder if that music is Doctor Doom's actual score, or if that was just the score that they just duped up for the movie. I do want to know that because that score is like very creepy. So I want to talk about one thing because I see a lot of people talking about, okay. So a lot of people are trying to say that Doctor Doom is going to dreamwalk in the MCU and he's going to dreamwalk like Wanda did with Tony Stark's body. So I want to tell you guys how dreamwalking works because we have to stop trying to shoehorn Tony Stark into every Doctor Doom theory. And the thing that I don't like is I feel like Doctor Doom, bro, is being underplayed a lot because they keep pairing Doctor Doom with Tony Stark. Okay. So this is how dreamwalking works. Okay. So obviously we saw the Scarlet Witch use this. We saw Doctor Strange use this. Number one, you need a Darkhold spell or something equivalent to that. Obviously Doctor Doom could get that, right? But also, hear this, you have to take over your variant's body. So a variant, it isn't about possessing someone who looks just like you, but it has to be you in that universe. So an example is on this Earth, right? Jerry could be Jerry, but on Earth 2, I could be Jerry. You know what I mean? Like Jerry, like I could be Jerry, right? And so if Jerry was to dreamwalk, he would possess me because on like another Earth, like variance isn't based on looks; it's based on identity. Okay, and so anyone that is using a Tony Stark, Doctor Doom bullcrap, don't believe anything that they're saying because they don't even understand the rules that have been set. And honestly, like, do you really think that they will go with the easiest plot point ever? You know, and something that Fantastic Four taught me too is like they aren't always going for the obvious stuff all of the time, you know? And like a lot of times we take these obvious takes and then we try to act like they're actually law. And like we don't know how Doom is doing a lot of this. Like we don't. All we
We don't
have
even
is
know what he's doing.
yeah, bro,
We don't know what he's
exactly.
doing at all.
All we have is a bunch of rumors and leakers that think that they know. So like we have to stop taking stuff as set law and actually enjoy like the enjoy guessing, enjoy thinking and using comic books and lore to figure out like what's actually going on. Because like yeah, it's to be honest, bro, like this crap is really making me annoyed. But anyways, I don't think Doom is taking Franklin here. I really don't. I think that the meaning. I also think there is a calculated, way to why Doom is there. Like there's a reason why he's where Sue is and why he's not with Reed because obviously him and Reed have really bad beef. So I hope that in Doomsday we get some convo between Sue and Doctor Doom, and also with the fact that because there was the rumor going around at first that that the Earth was going to be cooked and that's how they were going to come to the MCU. Obviously that is not the case because we have a 4-year gap. Why is Doom there? Is there an incursion possibly happening? Is there something else going on outside of their world? I just have a lot of questions about like obviously Doom has a motive to be there for Franklin, but I want to know what he's going to say to Sue because I don't think Doom I don't think Doom is going to be as clear about it as people.
I think it's actually really obvious. I think Doom's after the power cosmic.
Yes, but I also think that he could word things to Sue to make it a whole different like situation because the question that I have is like what is going on during this time in this 4-year gap, like what is happening on their Earth. And so like I hope that we can get some of those questions to answer because like those were like the first thoughts that I came to. Like yes, we know that he wants Frank's power, but I also think there could be more to this whole entire state and situation that they're all in. So like I just hope that it's not as simple as that. Like I hope that there's like a little more going on to see where Reed and the other characters are at.
I think they do a lot of simple stuff all the time, especially with the multiverse and variants and like that's like the low hanging fruit that I think they do the easy cop out all the time. So I think they definitely do the easy stuff, but I don't think we really know anything. I think the only thing we could assume from this scene is that Doctor Doom wants the power cosmic. Like that's like the only clear thing to me. And I'm going to also assume it has something to do with the incursions for why he wants it. And yeah, but I just don't like that. Like I feel like they are rushing into Avengers Doomsday now. Like that's what I think. And I think this was their chance to make a lot of people not feel like that by giving us more Doctor Doom. But I think that they didn't want to do it for whatever reason.
I hear you saying, and
you don't think they're rushing this? Like you don't think it's
dude. I've said this, like, I mean, and I've said this to my friends. This is what happens when you jack up everything and you have to practically start over. This was because like even if they gave Doom like a lot of extra scenes where he was able to talk, sorry, I think it would have felt rushed regardless. Like this is just the world that we're in because they jacked up so hard. I don't really think like they're like that there was a way that you could shoot. Unless if you give like Doom a whole separate role in the Fantastic Four first steps where we got to see them like interact. Like I don't there's no other way for it not to feel rushed. I mean,
I
bro,
think
like the
that's
first time we
complicating
see
a
him,
very simple
bro,
thing.
like
They
bro,
could have
the,
just
the
given him
first
a
time we see him,
conversation.
but like the first time
Like,
we see him is a year before Avengers Doomsday. Like, I mean, it was gonna feel rushed regardless, bro.
yeah, well, it's less rushed, at least give him a conversation. Like, you have RDJ there, you're shooting this scene, it's the Russos. They could have at least given him one conversation and maybe even, a couple more minutes of a conversation. But like, you know, if it's rushed and you could do something to establish Doctor Doom, like, why wouldn't you do it? It just makes no sense to me.
Oh yeah,
You don't think
I
that
mean,
would have made a
I hear you.
difference? You don't think that would have made a difference at all?
I'm not saying that it wouldn't have, but I'm saying that like even if I got to hear Doom's convo, to me it would have still felt rushed because I just think Doom is a character that you don't just Thanos style. Like I think Doom deserves more than to be a Thanos. Like he should have been in more stuff, but when you chalk your guy and you bring in this new guy at the last second, like what do you expect? I mean, like it isn't like our DJ's coming back to play Stark. No, he has to learn this whole new character and read comics. And I mean, it's a lot of
They're
work that goes
filming it
into
right
that.
now, and they could have done a quick scene. Like, they got to establish Doctor Doom before Avengers Doomsday. This is such a bad move.
I mean, and as I'm not saying you're wrong, but I just don't think a simple conversation would have been like, oh, now it's not rushed. No, bro, like this is a year before, like before the whole entire movie. Like it's still crazy that this is the first time we're seeing him. You know what I mean? Like it's still fast in general. Like this is fast tracked as hell. But as I said, when you jack up to like this, you got to play catch up. And so
And that's why
yeah.
when you do jack up like this, you got to play all your cards right. And they didn't play their cards right on this scene. It was a massive L. And like, I think it's very black and white here. I think they have Doctor Doom. You have your one chance to establish him and introduce him to the fans before Avengers Doomsday. And all you do is show him no face. Like, this is your chance to at least check the box. He was introduced before Avengers Doomsday, and they didn't check that box.
And look, as I said, that is a very fair take. Like I said, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just think that it would have took longer than 1 year to establish him. That's all I'm saying.
Well, they would have at least
The
introduced
way that
him.
you're
He needs
saying,
to be introduced. Like, he absolutely needs to
100%,
be introduced before
100%.
Doomsday.
He should have been in almost everything. He should have had it in almost everything at this point. If this is your
Yeah.
guy, which means that the trailers are going to have to be super descriptive, and it also means that like a lot of Doomsday is going to be like a lot of just. I'm not saying doom yapping, but like there's going to have to be a lot of context to what's going on, which I don't mind. But the question is the regular fan going to mind that? So I'll have to see what happens.
What's next on the docket?
Iron Man versus Doom.
Okay. All right.
All right, let's get it. Okay, so I got this screenshot from. I had to pause it on his video. It took me like 7 times, but Robert Downey Jr. He was going live on or not live, but he posted a reel. I think it was a song that he made or something, and he ended up showing these two comics, and a lot of fans are hyped, with the assumption that possibly Iron Man is going to go up against Doctor Doom and Doomsday. So what did you take from this post?
So the more I thought about it, I thought that, like, I think they're teasing Iron Man's coming back. That's what I think. I think that Iron Man is probably coming back. I don't think that, like, yeah, I made a TikTok post out of it, but I don't think this is what he's reading to learn about Doctor Doom. I think they're teasing Iron Man is coming back, and I think Iron Man is going to come back because I think they're doing all the easy moves right now, and that, like, bringing Iron Man back is going to make waves. They already are paying RDJ an obscene amount of money. And if they're already bringing back all the X-Men, like, why not bring back Iron Man at that point when you have RDJ on set?
Common sense, bro. It's just common sense. I mean, if you didn't think Iron Man wasn't going to come back, you're crazy, bro.
Yeah. I mean, and I called it before this. I don't know how I feel about it. I think I went back and forth on it, but, like, I don't know. I just, like, he had, like, the perfect ending in the last one. So, completely undo that in the, like, next Avengers movie is a little ridiculous to me.
So would you say that a variant is undoing it or no?
Yeah, because you're again taking the low hanging fruit, the easy way out. Oh, it's the multiverse, so like, of course, we could just pull in a variant of Iron Man, but we're not really undoing it. It's such a cop out.
You see, I don't mind that personally.
You don't mind a lot of things.
I don't. I just. I don't. I don't mind it, bro. Bring him back, bro. At this point,
I don't think they should. I think it's a cop out.
hey man, it's also a question. Like, see, like I also question the involvement though, because like if Reed is going to be the lead, oh, that's a bar. If Reed's going to be the lead, but if Reed is going to be the lead of this movie, do we need Stark? You know,
Yeah,
like I mean, I'm
and
more than
that's a
sure
good
he's going to get
point.
a lot of screen time, right? Yeah,
That's a
like
good point. Like, and is he going to come back for Doomsday? Is he only coming back for Secret Wars? We don't really know, but like, I don't think he posted this without Kevin Feige having a decision on the matter.
oh yeah,
It's 100% intentional.
definitely calculated, definitely calculated. Let's see if they bring back Tony and Steve. I hope they bring back the same Tony and Steve. I don't want a variant. I hate the idea of variant from another universe replacing the old one that died. At least when Goku dies, it comes back as the same Goku. And not some variant from another universe plays. That's a fair point. Thanos has like 5 minutes of screen time before Infinity War. Exactly. Yeah, disagree. The way this post credit scene was done is a L. We needed to see RDJ as doing with some dialogue. Fair,
Yep.
fair. Did you guys see the James Gunn Hal Jordan post? That post gave me hope that Hal
Yeah,
Jordan.
I thought the same thing, Hungry. I was like, this was a bold one. Maybe James Gunn saw a lot of Green Lantern fans are not happy with the comments that he said. He was like, this is really a John Stewart story. And like all the Green Lantern pages that I follow were like freaking out over it.
Yeah,
So,
people were crashing out.
yeah.
And both can exist. Like, come on, both. And like, I wouldn't mind if like because John Stewart doesn't have that. Like, John Stewart isn't the center of stuff. I wouldn't mind him playing like the JL role while Hal is dealing with the greater stuff in space. Like, I wouldn't mind that,
Yeah.
bro. Marvel don't even remember the rules that they established in the MCU. They forgot that garbage known as anchor beings.
Yeah. Oh,
But the very thing is like the identity of the whole entire MCU multiverse crap. People in Hollywood want to see James Gunn win right now. Marvel Studios will bounce back. Avengers MCU box office. Not sure if everyone in Hollywood wants to see Gunn win. Bro, my friend made this theory that Franklin touching Doom's face is Franklin changing Victor's face to look like
I
Tony.
saw a lot of people were saying that.
Yeah.
I
I
think
mean,
that,
seriously? Like, seriously? That's hilarious.
bro, people are stupid. Sorry,
Wow.
Hungry, to your friend.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't see the issue of X-Men being safe. I think it has to be safe. You don't want to botch the X-Men.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah. Okay, let's get to the next thing because I'm so confused. Okay, so let's talk about the Mystique actress talking about Avengers Doomsday. I want to give you the floor on that.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I think that this was really unprofessional of her because everyone knows, and she's in Hollywood, so it's her job to know. And if she doesn't know, and if she isn't staying up to date on what's going on, that is unprofessional. I think this is a really unprofessional comment from her because Kevin Feige and James Gunn have kind of been going at it, if you could read between the lines. Basically, James Gunn came out and said, we're going to be doing things different. And we are only going to start shooting once we have a complete script. James Gunn made 3 movies and a special presentation for Marvel. So he damn well knows that at Marvel, they don't start shooting until they have a complete script. They change that script as they are shooting. And basically all movies have this. Movies, there's pre-production, there's production where they're shooting, and then there's post-production. All 3 of these are phases, and during all 3 of those phases, the script gets changed, things get redone, things get edited, they make different decisions, etc. So it's not uncommon, and they don't start shooting without a complete script. So what James Gunn is saying is like a clear shot at Marvel, and it's not even true. So it's weird, number one. Number two, who the hell is this girl? Like, no one really cares about you. Okay. You played Mystique like 20 years ago and you're causing an issue and like you're basically making your boss look like an idiot when you're lucky to even be in this movie. So I think it's ridiculous that she said this. I think it's highly unprofessional. And if I were Kevin Feige, I would be livid. I would be absolutely livid with this girl. I was shocked she said that.
Yeah. Rebecca, you're wild. And what is hilarious is she kind of like she inadvertently, like not even on purpose, walked back what she said. Because first she said the script was not done. Then in the same interview, they asked her, "Did you read the full script?" And she said, "I can neither confirm nor deny." If you said the script isn't finished, why are you confirming nor denying? Obviously, she knew that she misspoke and was yapping for no reason.
Yeah.
So like, and then of course, you know, the James Gunn booty lickers, they go on X and take the only 10 seconds of her saying that and cause a whole uproar on X when they get mad when people do that to James Gunn, which is hilarious. How they love to switch and, you know, do the same thing. Yeah, she was talking out of turn. It was wild, but it's whatever. I mean, I don't really think that this hurts the movie in a way, more so because it's freaking Mystique, bro.
I don't think it hurts the movie,
Yeah.
but I do think there's something going on with James Gunn and Kevin Feige, and it's obvious that they're both trying to like do it while saving face. I think James Gunn's the one who really started it. I think Kevin Feige's really been actually much more mature about it, even if it's just like public diplomacy, which it probably is, and he's probably pissed, but he's putting on a good face because he's a professional. And I think it's really messed up of James Gunn. Like, you wouldn't be where you were. Like, dude, this guy is, he made you, he rehired you after you got fired. Like, it's wild, bro. Yeah. And, you know, listen, I'm a fan of James Gunn, but like, I am going to call it how it is. Just like I just did with Marvel, I'm going to do the same thing with DC. And I got news for you. If you're a shill for Marvel or DC, I'm not the guy to listen to because I'm going to hurt your feelings because I'm going to tell you the truth.
Yeah. And it also puts even a lot more pressure on Gunn now. Like, when you don't need that right now, you know, like you are in a universe that's trying to build up, and your next movie is freaking Supergirl, you know? So it's like, you know, like, yeah, I'm not like, sorry,
I think he's doing it to try to paint the picture that DC has better processes. It's going to be a smoother ran business because Marvel isn't in a healthy position right now. And because I work there, I learned what they did right. I learned what they did wrong. That's the kind of image he's trying to present. And I understand why he's trying to present that way, but he's doing it. And there's no real way to do that without throwing Kevin Feige under the bus. And then you went, and to make it worse, he got real specific with a business process and he lied. So like, you know, and I got to give props to Josh from Den of Nerds because he's the one who made me see it this way, because I listened to like his whole 3-hour stream on, I forget which one it was, but
it was last week. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, the kid is really incredible. But anyway, he was the one who's like he's been reading all the articles for years, so he really knows what he's talking about. And he was like, he straight up said, like, James Gunn lies and lies a lot. Like, listen, I'm a fan of James Gunn. Okay, I like his work. I like his movies.
Yeah.
However, like, again, if you just want to hear, you know, Marvel's great, everything they do is great, or DC is great and everything they do is great, like, this is not the podcast for you.
Yeah, no. We are very opinionated and we stand on business. Period. Period. Yeah. On TikTok, he said that James Gunn directed Supergirl. I heard someone else was. James Gunn is not directing Supergirl as of what we know. Or no, he did not direct Supergirl. I'm pretty sure it's done already. But yeah, but like, if you're gonna talk heavy, at least have Brave and the Bold ready to go. Like, you can't have Supergirl next and you're talking that crazy. I'm sorry. Like, system or not, dude. If Supergirl is your next movie, I don't want to hear it from you. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm annoyed. It's like I don't even like. I'm not excited for Supergirl. Okay, like I don't know what to tell you.
It's like, oh, she's more violent. So.
And people are like, "Oh, the comic was cool." Like, bro, I am not reading a Supergirl comic.
Yeah,
Okay,
bro.
like,
Yeah, like how I feel about Supergirl is how Nova makes me feel. It's like so.
I gotta tell you, Nova has grown on me. Nova has grown on me because of the new Hickman series, Imperial. He has been cool as hell in that.
Yes.
Yeah, bro. I
Is that
was
with
kind of
Rich?
wrong on Nova. I thought Nova was whatever, but Nova's pretty cool. To be fair though, I probably misjudged him because I don't like Sam Alexander. I think Sam Alexander is soft. He's a wimp. I'm not a fan of the character. Richard Rider, much cooler.
Yeah, but like, and I understand he could be cool. The same way, I don't think Supergirl's corny, but the glaze, bro. It's just the glaze for me. It's like, yo, like you're not gonna sit here and act like Nova's gonna change the MCU. Like it's not
The other
that
thing I
vibe.
don't like about when characters like Nova get glazed is because you have to read a lot of Marvel comics to run into Nova. And I know a lot of the people who are glazing Nova don't read comics. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's fake. It's fake.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like you want to look like you are so entrenched into comics that you like some obscure character. Like, shut up.
Yeah, it gives me Century vibes all over again. That's at least how I feel.
Yes. That's a great call.
All right, next topic.
It's funny because you know who made his whole Century, his whole personality, and he didn't even know what the Baxter building was. Okay, like, get out of here.
I forgot about that.
And then his other friend didn't realize when Comics Explained was talking about Jonathan Hickman. He's like, "Oh yeah, I love that Brian Bendis run." Okay, shut up.
And got cooked. Like, I would just start a new page. All right, if that was me, that happened to me.
By the way, I am going to say something. A lot of times, and I hope you notice this because I'm going to say it now and pay attention because there are a lot of times I'll say I tweeted something and I give exact details because I don't want to name someone, but I'm trying to give you the breadcrumbs to go to my Twitter and search for that tweet and see who I smacked in my replies.
Yeah, 100%.
So if you search Hickman and you see when I was responding to Comics Explained, you could see who I was talking about. I say Hickman a couple times, so you probably have to search to find it, but you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, or type in the last time I found it, I think I typed in New Avengers. I think that was how I found it the last time.
Okay.
It was like the first tweet, I think. I remember. But all right.
So you were looking through my tweets.
Of course, I always do. Bro, I always got well, so like whenever I go on X, I always go to your page and then I'll just scroll and just see what you tweeted like throughout the whole day. And then and then I go and like just on my feed, you know what I mean?
I'm seeing when I did it, New Avengers. It was I can't find it.
It was in your replies though. Yeah, because it popped up as a reply. Hold on, actually I'm on live. I can't send it. I can send it over after the show because I have it saved.
Okay.
I bet. All right. Now let's talk about Mr. Dr. Doom RDJ. So Marvel Studios is reportedly discussing the idea of Robert Downey Jr. playing Dr. Doom even after Avengers Secret Wars. Could you see this happening after Avengers?
100%. I think they should. Like, I don't understand why people think it's a good idea to have Dr. Doom after RDJ and have a different Dr. Doom. Like, first of all, if you're casting someone as Dr. Doom and he's only doing 2 movies, why wouldn't he do more? Number one. Number two, like, if he's going to do Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, which are going to be like historic in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in that world, why would you want him to do these like huge epic crossover movies and then throw them away? Like, that makes no sense. If you're going to keep Doctor Doom, you would want the Doctor Doom that just did Secret Wars. So like that's stupid to me too. It would be like saying let's recast Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man after Avengers 1. Like it makes no sense. Why would you throw like it would also be like saying, let's trade LeBron after LeBron just won us a ring. Like you just wouldn't do it. It's stupid. So anyone who's saying, who could play Doctor Doom after Robert Downey Jr., like you're an idiot. That's such a dumb move.
Yep, 100%. I mean, and I did a whole TikTok on this now, like earlier. RDJ is a big face in the MCU, bro. Like he's the biggest face. If he's willing to stay and you are willing to work something out, why not do that? And also, Doctor Doom is not a one-off villain. Doctor Doom is a different breed. Like Doctor Doom could be with Doctor Strange for a while and it could work. He could be in a lot of like different worlds and it works. That is the beauty of Doom. And Doom has even, fondled with, kind of a anti-hero type of persona as well. So there's like a lot of different roads that you can go with Dr. Doom where he can be in other stories that doesn't always have to do with Reed and the Fantastic Four, and it still actually holds weight.
He wasn't really a hero. He tried to be a hero and he couldn't follow through with it. But the tweet, by the way, just search my tweets for Hickman Bendis. Put Hickman and Bendis in it, and it was from May 8th, 2025, and you'll see. But anyway, like Doctor Doom is also like, aside from being like the big bad, like you would want him in the Marvel universe as Marvel Cinematic Universe as just a character. Like the Fantastic Four, you could have Annihilus be the big bad for the Fantastic Four too, but Doctor Doom could still be a character in that movie. Like you could do that with him so much. He's just a great character.
What are they talking about? Hey, chocolate. Yo, you guys on TikTok is weird, man. They text me, hey, chocolate hottie, bro. All right. We're going to the next topic, man. Oh, that, bro. You guys, bro. It's these kids, bro. These kids is wild nowadays, man. Y'all got to chill, bro. Y'all kids wild, bro. All right. But I totally agree, bro. Like they should keep him as Doom. And for people to think, and for people to say, I know that RDJ is not, is going to die and he's not the main Doom. Please stop it. Please, you guys, just stop it. Stop the app. Stop the app.
Yeah, anyone who's saying that Doctor Doom is going to die is an idiot.
Yeah, bro. Like that's okay. All right. Now, Feige, wait, did I even put that in here? All right. So let's talk about Feige and Deadpool and Wolverine for a second. I really wanted you to like talk about it because I know it like made you you were I felt that you were annoyed at this whole Deadpool and Wolverine.
I'm more than annoyed.
I am. Let me hear your crash out. Let's get it.
So I hate Deadpool and Wolverine. Okay, like it's a fun movie and I could rewatch it and enjoy it, but I hate it because the whole premise of it is stupid. It like is barely in the MCU to begin with, and it was what I also hated about it when it came out was that it was all hype. It was all a bunch of it won the stupidest people over because stupid people fall for the idea of cameo porn. Okay. It's like, cameo porn to stupid people is like a bone to a dog. And that is why Deadpool and Wolverine was so successful. And now, because it was successful, Kevin Feige said, well, we brought the X-Men back for Deadpool and Wolverine, and that worked. So we thought we should bring the X-Men back in a bigger way for Avengers Doomsday. I hate this. I hate this so much. I don't want the X-Men in Avengers Doomsday, like at all. I think this is a bad idea. And I never liked the idea of bringing, and if you watch the stream we did from after the chairs event, I said it then. Stevie will tell you I didn't like the idea then. And now For me, he would have been better off never saying this because I hate this. I hate it so much. I think it's cameo porn. I think they're selling cameo porn in Avengers Doomsday, and they're doing it with like 20 characters, and it's like, why? Like, I don't even want to see them.
Interesting. So this is a very, I mean, obviously he would say this because this movie grossed $1 billion. And I think that's the main reason why he's saying it. And it is funny how now, like, about how, like, you know, that movie didn't age well over time. And I'm not gonna lie,
It
I had
didn't go with reception. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, and like, you know, and I'm just saying, like, over time, like, even when I've rewatched it, it's just it's bad. I can't hold you. And you know, and I was the one that was super hyped about it. You know, I fell for the cameo corn. I did. I ain't gonna lie. You know, I was loving every second of it. Like,
I called it cameo porn at the time too.
Oh yeah, I know. And I was deep, you know what I mean? But
I respect you for saying that.
Oh yeah, look, I will always say when I'm wrong, man. Hey, man. Look, that's how you learn and grow, right? That's how you learn and grow. But I think that I hate that he used that movie as the example, because I do like the idea of the old school X-Men being in it and you know, playing a part. I just don't want it to feel like it's a 2-second thing. You know what I mean? And you know, and I have been very vocal about how I don't mind cameos. Like cameos don't really make me mad, but because to me it's the multiverse, right? So I think that characters from other from other, you know, verses, right, should be in it. But in a movie like Avengers, every character in this movie has to matter. Everything that is said, everything that is done has to have meaning in a movie like Avengers Doomsday. If this was Fantastic Four and we got like a quick cameo of something like that, I wouldn't be as mad as to where a movie like Avengers Doomsday, everything has to mean something. And so with him saying this, the question that I would have for you, Feige, is like, are you just talking about how a lot of fans loved people like Gambit coming back, or are you saying like the exact way you did it, you want to copy that in Doomsday? If that is if that is the very case, that is a red flag.
Well, here's the thing: is like there's like 20 of them, so all of them aren't going to it can't. Not all of them could be significant and matter to this file. So that's the thing. And like, no one, I don't even think anyone was asking for this. Like, even the idiots weren't asking. I'm sure they're like, oh, yay. But they weren't asking for it. And I don't know. I just think it's so dumb. I think this is such a dumb move. And I'm also noticing there are a lot of Marvel fans that, maybe not a lot, but there's a good amount. I'm noticing a good amount of Marvel fans that are like, they think Avengers Doomsday is like a hot mess. Like, a lot of people think that this movie is a bad idea. They think everything about it. There's a lot of people that think it. They don't like the X-Men idea. There's a lot of people that don't like the Doctor Doom RDJ idea. But my thing is also, like, I love the multiverse in the comics. Like, they do it so well. You know, seeing different characters on different planets or different Earths. But like, the thing is like, what's cool about it in the comics is like, you know, there's a different Reed Richards and his life went differently and he's divorced from Sue. Johnny died and like he's become a different person and he's angry and there's something different about him that makes him special and more importantly makes him interesting. It's not just like, oh, Gambit's back, like, hey, I'm here, like, to put a name on a roster to sell tickets, you know. Yeah. And I think that the MCU, when they do cameos, it's like lazy, low-hanging fruit, like almost like clickbait, like ticket bait. Whereas in the comics, it's more thoughtful and interesting.
Yeah, this to me felt like a dig at fans. That's how the X-Men casting felt to me, because a lot of fans were assuming that the OGs were going to come back and kind of play the role that the X-Men were and being like an evil Avengers. And to me, it felt like Marvel saying, "Oh, like you thought we were doing that, but here's what we cooked." You know what I mean? Like that was kind of my view. Like it felt like it was a clap back to everyone's theory. You know what I mean? Because like there was no build up to the X-Men showing up. I mean there was with Captain Marvel, but I'm saying like before that happened, there was no sign at all that we were going to get these characters. You know, so and if they were going to build that up, you would have done that in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like you would have done that in your early shows and movies that just came out. So it's weird. It's kind of weird how it's all come together.
No build up for the X-Men. There's no build up for Doom. Like all of it just seems like what the hell is going on?
Yeah. All right. Now let's talk about this Avengers Doomsday scoop. If you don't want to be, well, we don't know if this is a spoiler yet, but if you don't want to hear anything, please leave. And don't come back for like another 5 minutes. Okay, so in Doomsday, Monica Rambeau will be torn between supporting the Avengers because of Carol Danvers, or the X-Men who have become her new family, and her mom is a variant, or whatever. And ultimately, Monica will side with the X-Men and oppose the Avengers. How do you feel about this little plot?
I think that this one at least sounds somewhat interesting because I like the idea of the X-Men and the Avengers. Like when Kevin Feige says, "Oh, they're all going to be in the Baxter Building," I'm like, well, I hope they're not all like BFF. I hope there is a conflict here. Otherwise, what's the point? Like, why do the Fantastic Four need to be with the X-Men? Why can't they just be the Fantastic Four with the Avengers? But what I don't like is that Monica Rambeau is like the catalyst character for this conflict. I don't think she's interesting. I never cared for her. I know you feel differently, and I think the big difference with us on this is that like you loved WandaVision. I hated WandaVision. So like I didn't care. I never really cared. I thought Wanda was at least a cool character up until then. I think like post Endgame, everything she's done, WandaVision and Multiverse of Madness I've hated. And like I don't like Monica Rambeau really, and I definitely don't like Carol Danvers. So like I don't know, I wish they used a different character to do this. But it does sound somewhat believable that something's going to happen with Monica Rambeau with the X-Men because they did that post-credit scene. However, Marvel has abandoned a lot of plot threads in the multiversal saga. So you really don't know if something means something or not.
So I do like Monica Rambeau, and I don't think Monica Rambeau is a bad character at all. Like I think she's cool. Would she have been my first choice as the person to be the multiversal, bridge, if I can use that word, between our MCU and the X-Men? Heck no. I mean, I could name 5,000 other characters that I would choose other than Monica, Rambeau, just being honest. But if she gets more screen time than Carol Danvers, then hey man, I will take it because I'm just being honest, bro. Like she's not a annoying character. She's not, like she doesn't when she's in movies, like she's just there. So I don't really think she doesn't do anything wrong. She doesn't do anything too right. She's just there. Monica, you know what I mean? So, like
if you think she's just there, like what made you like her to begin with?
I'm talking about like in the Marvels, like in like
Wanda. I thought you said Marvel.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Because like Shackman, like I feel like Shackman gave her some story, like, and meaning to an extent, and like so when she got her powers, I actually cared. And then in the Marvel, she was just there. You know what I mean? She's just present. Like she has some lines, but it was more. But like Miss Marvel carried the whole entire movie, which we all know that Amon is an amazing actress, so it makes sense. So yeah, I mean, as I said, I'm not really tripping, and I think a scoop like this is such a small part of the actual story. I mean, it's. You like obviously she's going to side with the X-Men because it's a variant that looks like her mother. I mean,
think it sounds like a big part of the conflict. Actually, I think it sounds like it's a big part of the movie.
Well, I think the X-Men and like Avengers beef is, but like I'm talking about like we're not going to get a 30 half-hour scene about Monica explaining why she's with that team. And if that did
No,
happen, I would cringe and
but
throw my
I don't think
water
it's
at
going
the
to be a
wall.
big part in terms of time. But I think the catalyst for the conflict has, a big significance to
Oh
the.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, another human lost on another Earth is a good enough reason for them to go, right? So, I mean, yeah, I just hope that. I mean, and knowing the Russos, like the way they sideline Carol in both of the
Yeah,
uh
yeah.
in Endgame when Feige was pushing to us that she's. I mean, and think about this: her movie did 1 billion, and they still sidelined the girl. I mean, so they
I
just
think they know it did 1 billion because of the
the
politics
hype, yeah, the
trends
hype,
of the time. Well, no, I think it had a lot to do with the Me Too feminist movement that was like at its peak at that movie's release. And they played into it in the plot. There was that whole, like, when she was knocked out, there was that whole montage of like, oh, you can't do it because you're a woman. And,
I do remember that. Oh my
she was
god,
like fighting through it. So, like, bro,
you're
that
hilarious.
movie, I'm telling you right now, that movie did 1 billion because it played into the feminist movement
Yeah.
of,
If that drone dropped today, it will flop. Trust.
yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%. I would bet the house on it.
Yeah, it would not do good at all.
Yeah.
All right. Next topic here, Spider-Man Brand New Day. So, according to some set photos, Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to take place in 2027. Um, what did you gather from this? Because I know you had some thoughts on it.
So this is really interesting to me because after Thunderbolts, that scene where the Fantastic Four ship coming to the MCU 616-1999, whatever, Earth, that took place 14 months after the events of Thunderbolts. And then 4 years after the Fantastic Four movie, which I don't even know. Hold on. When does that take place? We know the post credit is when does Fantastic Four First Steps take place? What year within the Marvel universe? So basically, if that take place 4 years after Fantastic Four, then that would probably be like 1964. So what's really interesting is you have Doctor Doom coming for Franklin in 1964, and then in like modern day plus 14 months, you have the Fantastic Four coming to Earth, and then you have Spider-Man Brand New Day like 2027. So I think something's going on with the timeline. I don't really know exactly what, but I think it's really interesting because they went out of their way to make sure we understood the Thunderbolts post-credit scene was 14 months. They made sure to go out of their way to tell us the Doctor Doom scene was 4 years later. But when I thought about this, I didn't realize, I forgot that the Fantastic Four took place in the 1960s, which is technically 1960. So it's, I don't know. I just think it's really interesting. And it's definitely interesting, but I don't know where it leads.
Yeah, because No Way Home was 2024, 3-year gap for Spidey. So
No Way Home did take place in 2024.
mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Yes, that's a 3-year gap of like, him just grinding. So,
Yeah.
Gonna be a very I like time jumps like that. Like I don't like massive jumps, unless if it's with, like characters that need to like grow, but I
Which
like a little 3-year jump.
it's going to be interesting also because how are they going to explain the Fantastic Four have aged 60 years and it will look exactly the same? They're just going to pretend that,
Yeah, the question is if they're on another Earth, like are all of the Earths on the same time span? So like would the Fantastic Four in the 1960s be 2027 where Spider-Man is happening? You know what I mean? Like do they all go through the same calendar year and time? That'd be
right.
my question. But this whole time travel thing,
Yeah.
it's it drives me insane. Like, and then I was telling someone about the time machine from like Endgame. I was like, look, I'm getting a headache. I'm just gonna stop caring. It's getting a little too much for
That
me.
time machine thing from Endgame was so confusing. It was
Yeah,
not
bro.
explained well at all.
Because then Loki because at first I thought they were just going back in time. I understand it created multiple timelines, but then the TVA's talking about it's another Earth. I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
too much, too
it's
much.
they better explain it in the beginning of Avengers Doomsday because I am so confused.
hmm And then multiverse of nuttiness
Yeah,
made it even worse. So it's like,
multiverse of mid.
yeah, bro. All right. Let's talk about. All right, we got two more topics, and we're out of here.
All right.
So, X-Men director Jake Schreier, he said the upcoming film will be recognizably different from what came before. He said the core idea of what what the X-Men involves is complexity. It's an incredible opportunity with super interesting characters and much internal conflict. These characters are wrestling with their identity and place in the world. That's inherently interesting and complex. And then he said he can't really say the much more because Feige's red sniper dot is pointing at him somewhere, which is hilarious because like there's a hilarious meme like about that. But I just like
He
because you
also
read
said
a lot of sorry, go ahead.
he also said that this X-Men will be different from anything we've seen before.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I said that. I think I said that first.
Okay, sorry.
But like, since you read a lot more X-Men than me, as in like the newer stuff, and like, and you have more of a view of the X-Men, does that sound like he's on the right track when it comes to figuring out a X-Men file?
I think that he like yeah, because they are complex. There is a lot of complexity to them, and what a lot of fans people are so stupid. Ugh, I'm just gonna start saying it more because it's true. But people are like, oh, well, all comic characters are progressive, and like that is not true. Okay, and the core idea of X-Men involving complexity is like 100. They all see things differently, which is why they. I mean, of course they do. Like, there's so many X-Men comics where the conflict is just X-Men versus X-Men or mutant versus mutant. So like, why would they all think exactly the same? So there's a lot of complexities to that. And like, I think that a character driven, grounded X-Men story could actually be really cool. I love it. And like, there is a lot of modern X-Men comics and even the older stuff. Like, there's both where, a lot of it is dialogue driven stories. And I think that makes for solid source material that you could verify that it works. And the X-Men, you could do a movie that, and of course they're going to do spectacle. So there's going to be action and all that. But like the dialogue centerpieces of the plot could be very character driven and like a dialogue rich story. I think it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, good. And this is great to know that he's on the right track. And you look, this guy's already made one great film, so I can't wait to see what he's going to do, with the X-Men and giving it a fresh new look. It's going to be fun. And then last topic of the night here, before we hit some chats and we're out of here, Superman has now crossed $500 million in the box office. This is a big win for WB in general because, as this was talked about, this was their goal, and they're probably going to make more. So I just want to know. I just want to hear your thoughts on this. As a viewpoint of like how this is a win for Gunn and the team.
Yeah. I mean, I think people were talking about 500, like people were saying 500 mil is kind of the benchmark they need to pass, and they did. So like anything else after that is a win. They had to overcome a lot because the DC brand has been so damaged in the eyes of movie-going audiences that 500 mil for the first movie out the gate for the DCU, let alone being a Superman movie, is a win. But my concern is that the next movie up is Supergirl, and like what we have in between now and Supergirl is Peacemaker and the Lanterns. And how much are those projects going to hype people up for Supergirl? Time will tell. It's very difficult to speculate when we don't really know how the DCU does their connectivity yet. We've only seen one real project from them. And, you know, I am expecting Peacemaker to innovate a bit and kind of surprise us based on the way James Gunn is talking about it. But it's going to have to do a whole lot of legwork to make a Supergirl movie pop.
I have a piece, make or take, that will piss a lot of people off. Like,
oh, let's hear it.
It's just like why? Like, if I'm like, in what world do we have to depend on Peacemaker to build lore? It just doesn't make sense to me. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy how much responsibility is on this whack. Like, I'm sorry, Peacemaker is just so corny to me. I've never been. Yeah, it's just not for me personally. It's just not my thing. I think it's so corny. I think it's hysterical. I can't. You know, I mean, he's funny and all that, but to sell it as like, oh, he's going to show how we're going to build the no, bro. Make Lanterns that show of how you're going to build. You know, like I don't know. It's just like when I think of trying to world build around your universe, those are the characters you want to use, not Peacemaker. He's a fun character to watch, but you know it's like I just like they're trying to make him more important than what he actually is.
That's a fair point. I definitely don't think Peacemaker needs to be like an important piece to the DCU. Yeah. I'm just excited for the show because I like the first one. I think James Gunn saw it as an easy win because he knows that it was a successful show. People love it, and like he could just rack it up as a quick win. But like it seems that he's making a lot of decisions that way, and he's looking for those easy business wins when at the same time they're telling us that, oh, the box office isn't as important as people think because Warner Brothers understands we're building a new universe. But you say that, but then you always take the low-hanging fruit, easy W's, like, you know, and I don't know. It's inconsistent.
Yeah, 100%. Well, all right, y'all. We're going to hit these chats and then we're out of here. We don't have that many here. Assuming that Jeff Snyder is correct about the Titans draft being done, do you think that it's possible that the big 2027 DC movie is Titans? Personally, I don't mind waiting for Brave and the Bold, if that's true. Didn't James Gunn just say the Titans or that like
he said the script isn't done because the person writing the script is still working on Wonder Woman. Here's the thing. I think it's very difficult to speculate again because we don't know how they work with their connectivity yet. But I would be very surprised if the first crossover movie doesn't involve Superman.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't think it would be Titans.
Yep. And I also like Brave New Bold. Brave and the Bold Brave New World, Brave New like Brave and the Bold needs to be fast tracked. It needs to be. There's no way. Like I love Titans, but Brave and the Bold needs to be like top priority for them.
You need
yeah, bro. Like, come on, guys. Ragnarok, Deadpool, and Wolverine, Homecoming, Far From Home, Loki, WandaVision are the most overrated movies and TV shows. Hey, relax, bro. Not that some of them are, but not all of them are. Relax, man. I love
Homecoming. Other than Homecoming, I agree. Other than Homecoming, I agree. And I think if they redid Loki now, and like a lot of Loki being so successful was centered on the hype for Kang, that I think if people rewatched Loki now, they wouldn't like it as much as they did when it came out, 100%. But I agree with that entire list, other than Spider-Man Homecoming. I think Spider-Man Homecoming is great. I think Far From Home is good. I don't think it's amazing, but yeah, I agree with that list pretty much.
I agree with everything except three, man. Except three of them: Homecoming, Loki, and WandaVision. And like, of course, people hate it now because Kang is cooked. But like at the time, bro, it was gas, bro.
Yeah, but like if you watch it now, do you think you would love it as much as you did then?
Well, knowing that Kang's cooked, no.
See, well, that's a big problem.
I mean, but like you could say the same thing about like any other movie before. Like would I have loved, Avengers Age of Ultron if I knew that the Hulk was never going to come back or like whoever, like obviously I wouldn't, you know what I mean? Because like it's the mystery of knowing what would have freaking happened.
But those characters did come back. That's completely different because
I'm just using that as an example. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, like obviously I'm not gonna love it as much now, but like for the moment it was in, bro, that joint was gas, bro.
you could say, well, you could use that logic for Deadpool and Wolverine and defend it then and try to defend it. And I think that's why I think that logic is flawed.
How?
Because at the time when Deadpool and Wolverine came out, a lot more people loved it than people do today. But Loki's different. Loki was built to set up Kang, and Kang became irrelevant. And he became irrelevant because of business decisions, not because of universe decisions.
Yeah. But my only argument would be that like Loki isn't a bad show though. And that would be the difference between
I don't think Loki's a bad show, but I think that like if people were to give it a 1 to 10 rating, I think it would drop a couple points if they rewatched it today.
I mean, yeah, but you're not wrong. My hope for Doomsday in Secret Wars is that in Doomsday, Doom kills all the Fox X-Men. In Secret Wars, we get the rebooted X-Men. That's what the rumors are saying. Daniel RPK said that, obviously they haven't cast yet because the script is still being done. But apparently, like, that is one of the first things that we're going to see post Secret Wars. No Way Home is the only good time cameo porn made sense and was done right. Strongly do not agree. Yes. At least with No Way Home, you can justify bringing Toby and Andrew back. Excuse me, because they never got the proper conclusion to their characters, and No Way Home gave them that. Hugh Jackman, Wolverine never needed to come back.
Also, like, with Toby and Andrew, they had a real story purpose. Like, you could call it a nostalgia porn, but that's not cameo porn. Like, Deadpool and Wolverine and Multiverse of Madness, those were cameos. But No Way Home, they were like the entire third act was centered around them.
Hugh Jackman as Wolverine was not a cameo. I'm not saying you said that, but that's what I give him.
No, but Gambit was.
Yeah,
Blade
100%,
was.
100%.
X-23. There's so many others that were cameos in that movie.
Yeah. And as I said, and the beauty of the multiverse is being able to pull, but they gotta have meaning, bro. If you're going to pull it, that's my case. I'm not mad at pulling, but like they gotta mean something, man. They gotta mean something, bro. And like when Toby and Andrew came, bro, it meant something, dog. It did, bro. It meant something for real.
Also, like they had different experiences. As Spider-Man, they were different than Tom Holland. And that's what I was saying in the comics that makes the multiverse so interesting is like, you don't just go to another planet and see the same version of yourself. Like that's boring. And, these cameos are there to sell tickets. And it's so obvious, like, all the hype around Blade and Gambit and X-23 and Elektra. It was like, they were in the movie for 2 seconds and they didn't really add any real value.
Yeah. I can't write a whole essay on why Deadpool such RDJ's Doom post Secret Wars also shuts up all the people who can't accept the new Tony because someone else can play Tony Stark and they can't complain because RDJ is Doom now. Facts.
That's a good point.
Facts. Don't be surprised if Marvel goes with Sam Alexander over Richard Rider, but I'm pretty sure the guy, what's his name, Mr.
Hungry. Oh my God, you are.
Yeah, but but the guy that runs their Disney Plus, he said the comic book room that they are going with Rich. Like you and I talked about that a while ago.
You know what though? They might still make Richard Rider Hispanic.
Yeah, dude. You never know at this point, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And look, it might be Pedro Pascal. Imagine that with the beard.
yeah. Oh God, that would be, dude. I would lose it.
Yeah.
You know what though? I wouldn't be surprised actually if they do. Look what they're doing with RDJ. So like,
true.
You never know.
True. Yeah, I do see a lot of James Gunn glazers. Like, I want the DCU to be successful, but a lot of decisions that Gunn made is not good. Lantern a show instead of a movie superhero. Thank you, bro. Facts. Agreed, bro. Stupid decisions.
So dumb. It's so
I
dumb.
and like, where is Safran in this? Like, come on, like, this is where Safran. Like, I need you to come in and say no. Goodness
I think
gracious.
Safran is probably Safran's probably like Peacemaker's an easy win. It already has a fan base. Like, do it, you know?
Yeah.
But Supergirl, like, that is a dumb move.
It's a movie, bro. That's crazy to me. That is insane. That is crazy.
Supergirl should have been the show, and Lanterns should have been the movie.
I agree, bro. A Supergirl movie is wild. I hate that, and plus, Supergirl already has TV history anyway. Anyways, I hate the idea of a variant from another universe replacing the old one that died. Oh, we already talked about that. All right, that's all the chats for the night, guys. We thank you guys for jumping on with us for a few hours. We will see y'all the next week. Hopefully, my baby is born Saturday because that is the day. Also, RIP to Ozzy Osbourne, a legend that died. Want to give him a shout out. Have a great night, y'all, and peace out.
Have a great night.